Good morning, parents. Welcome to this video, this instructional video with helpful hints about phonemic awareness. I've been getting some questions about the phonemic awareness activities, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to go over some of them and offer some hints. For starters, let's just take a look at this I prepared to just get to the heart of what phonemic awareness is. Phonemic awareness is the ability to hear and manipulate individual phonemes, and phonemes are the units of sound. It is aural, that means it has to do with listening, and oral, listening to sounds, discerning sounds, perceiving units of sound, and then being able to manipulate them and generate them with your own voice. So it's aural and oral. And it is not, the student is not looking at letters to sound them out, as we say. No, the student is hearing sounds. The student may be then manipulating those sounds or adding sounds that they can generate themselves, and then they are telling you those sounds or words, sometimes putting the phonemes together to make new words. So I want to emphasize that because sometimes parents get confused with some of the activities, and they feel like they're supposed to be saying or sounding out a letter. And the phonemic awareness you do with the students, you are the ones looking at text or letters. They are just listening and generating a response. Just want to go back to last week. There was one activity here just to offer a little bit of help. This is a very fun activity where it's called Give Me 5, and it's rhyme production. And the adult says, give me 5 words that rhyme with And the adult will give a target word, like words that rhyme with can, and then the student is supposed to come up with as many words as they can that rhyme. Now again, this is supposed to be aural, so the child hears you say can, and they themselves come up with additional words that rhyme with that, and they speak them. Now, if they're having trouble with that, you can say, hey, you can make rhyming words by thinking about the alphabet. Oh, sorry, that was my cat. By thinking about the alphabet. So your student in their mind can go, A, B, ban, C, D, D, dan, E, F, fan, G, gan, no, that's not a word, H, I. So you can encourage them to think about the alphabet if they're trying to think of rhyming words that rhyme with can. Another tool that you can use that should be in your student's writing folder is this alphabet chart. And again, I know this kind of goes against what I just said, that they're not looking at letters and sounding them out. But in this case, they're just using the alphabet as a quick cue to remember what sounds could I try to put on the beginning of can. I could try, ban, can, dan, fan, gan, no, hand, can, land, man. So they could just go through this, and that could help them also with generating that. But again, phonemic awareness is mostly oral and oral. It's not them sounding out things. Then I want to go to one of the activities for starting this week. This week, as we wrote in the team letter, the phonemic awareness activities are focusing on blending phonemes and then segmenting. So putting them together and taking them apart. And here I've had quite a bit of parental confusion, so I wanted to go over this. It says, adult says each individual phoneme or sound, and it emphasizes the whole word is there for the adult's reference. The adults do not say the whole sound. The student repeats and then says the whole word. So for example, if the adult is looking at this, they're going to say, the adult's going to go g-o, g-o. And the student will say g-o, and then they have to blend it together. They have to say g-o, go. Now, the reason I think this may be confusing for some adults is that when you look at g, okay, we all know we say g for this letter, but when we see the letter O, Of course, in kindergarten, students are taught when you first start to learn the sounds that letters make. You see this, you see the letter O, everybody's taught to go ah, right? You look at that, you say ah. That's what I mean by sounding out letters, and that is not what you are doing here. That is not what the student is doing here. So I wanted to clarify this. That's the main reason I'm making the video, because some people got confused. So let's try one more. For example, this is in parentheses to cue you that we are talking, to cue the adult that we're talking about the word me. So you're going to look at this and you're going to say e, e. And the student's going to go e, me. So again, you're saying the two phonemes, and the student is repeating the phonemes and then blending them together. Okay, and here, again, another, and this is a good example because, of course, if you look at this letter, you might think, eh. That's the short E sound. That's what we usually try first when we see that letter. But that's not what's going on here. The adult knows that the word is me, so they're going to go e, me. So here I know the word is low, o, and the student says o, low. Okay, I know the word is high, so I'm going to say I. Student will repeat I, high. Okay, I won't do any more, but this same activity is repeated all week long. I just wanted it to be clear how that works. And then in terms of segmenting, okay, so in this activity you're segmenting. The adult says the word, the student repeats it, and then chops it into individual phonemes. Okay? And again, they're not looking at the word, so they're not going to sound out anything. They are listening to you. So the adult will say, oh, here, let's look at the example first. The adult says, got. The student repeats it, got, and then says, got. Okay, I'll do another one. The adult says, pad. Student says, pad, p-a-d. Okay. Adult says, well. Student says, well, w-e-l. Adult says, nose. Student says, nose, n-o-s. And this is a perfect example of, if the student were looking at this, there might be some confusion, because when you see the letter O, you might think, oh, I have to say ah, like O sound is octopus, ah, but no, of course, because the child is not looking at this. The child is just listening. So again, you're going to say nose, they're going to say nose, n-o-s. Okay, so I hope that helps with understanding. I just had the impression that some adults were a little confused by the task, as well as just keep in mind that these phonemic awareness activities are the ability to hear and manipulate individual phonemes. Phonemes are units of sound. Let me get that up so you can see my whole poster all at once. And another thing I want to emphasize is that these are useful activities even for very strong readers. I know sometimes we think, oh, well, my kid can read all this, and they can read this grade level or Magic Treehouse or whatever. But what's important about phonemic awareness is it is what we used to call, or kind of the old-fashioned way, it's cultivating your child's ear for language. And of course, cultivating their ear for language is something that is important and useful as they progress in their reading, as they read harder and harder stuff, as they learn to appreciate poetry, as they learn to appreciate more complex language and sentences and the way an author has written a sentence. There's a sound to that that your child will be able to appreciate better if they have a strong sense of phonemic awareness. Okay, so I hope this video has been helpful, and I'll be trying to generate more helpful videos for parents when I see that maybe some things might be a little bit confusing in the instructions. Okay, have a great day, and I look forward to meeting with you all this afternoon. Bye.